Anarchists in general and the general population do not understand what natural law is, and this is the problem that keeps humanity enslaved. So the working definition for natural law is a set of universal, inherent, objective, non-man-made, eternal, and immutable conditions which govern the consequences of behaviors of beings with the capacity for understanding the difference between harmful and non-harmful behavior. It is the binding conditions of behavior. We have free will, but we do not have the ability to escape the consequences of our free will world decisions that we take through our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And natural law is the set of governing conditions, the governing dynamics that brings to us the result of our behavior. Natural law is not and has absolutely nothing to do with any of these things that I'm going to say here right now. It has nothing to do with Darwin's theories regarding macrobiological evolution. It has nothing to do with the so-called Darwinian survival of the fittest. It has nothing to do with the so-called law of the jungle, and it has nothing to do with the so-called, quote-unquote, natural order. Zero and nothing to do with those things. So if you have the idea that you can learn natural law by observing animals in the wilderness, you have no idea what I'm talking about by natural law. Get these notions out of your mind. Okay? That's not what natural law means, and this is because the word natural has also become obfuscated in our language. People don't even know where the word natural came from etymologically in human history. This is the etymological root of the word natural. The English word natural is etymologically derived from the ancient Egyptian word NTR, transliterated NTR in English, symbolized by this flag hieroglyph. It meant God. NTR in ancient Egyptian meant God. It was symbolized hieroglyphically as a simple stylized flag on a pole, which represented a force which was known to exist through its observable effects, but difficult or impossible to see with the eye. In other words, occulted or hidden from view. NTR was actually pronounced nature. Almost identical, extremely close to the English pronunciation of nature. Almost as if a southerner from the United States was pronouncing it. Let's go out and nature, okay? The word natural, when we tack on the suffix al from many different root languages, meaning of, having to do with, related to, or from, the word natural clearly means etymologically of, from, having to do with, or relating to God. That is what the word natural means. That is all it ever has meant. When people think about that it means somehow animals behave, the Darwinian so-called theory of evolution, that is not what the word natural means, certainly not as I'm applying it in my work. We need to get that definition out of your head, and you need to get this working definition into your head. Natural law has been known in many different times and traditions by many different names. It has also been called moral law, cosmic law, universal law, causality, or the law of cause and effect, consequentialism, or the laws of consequence, the law of karma, God's law, creation's law, conscience, or probably my favorite, common sense, which is what sadly has disappeared from this world. For people to really understand the depth of what natural law is, I highly recommend my 8.5 to 9 hour presentation called Natural Law, the Real Law of Attraction and How to Apply It in Your Life. You could find this seminar online for free at my website, whatonearthishappening.com. Please watch it in its entirety. You will greatly benefit from it. Very brief review of natural law. It is all about correct understanding of objective morality. This is what natural law is. It is understanding the difference between right behavior and wrong behavior. Right behavior is that behavior which is correct. It is based in truth. It is moral, because actions which are in harmony with natural law do not result in harm to other sentient beings. This is the definition of the very term right as applied to behavior. Most people, most anarchists cannot give the definition of a right, unfortunately, the correct definition, which is an action that does not cause harm to other sentient beings. That is the definition of a right. And that's why we are losing our rights, because people cannot even define what a right is. Conversely, wrong behavior is that which is incorrect in nature. It is not based in truth. It is immoral. Wrong actions are actions which are in opposition to natural law because they do result in harm to other sentient beings. And yes, the breakdown is quite simple. And yet, unfortunately, the vast majority of the human population cannot understand that simplicity and does not live their lives in harmony with it. Natural law is the only law that exists. All other laws are illusory. They are the product of a mind that is under mind control and hypnosis. Natural law is based upon principles and truth, whereas man's so-called law are based upon dogmatic beliefs. Natural law is inherent to creation, whereas man's law simply exists as constructs of mind. Natural law is harmonized with due to knowledge and understanding. Man's law is complied with due to fear of punishment. Natural law is universal. It exists and applies everywhere in the universe regardless of location. Man's law differs with location based upon the whim of legislators, which is called moral relativism, which is where most people are trapped as well. We're going to talk about that later. Natural law is eternal and immutable. It cannot be changed. It exists and applies forever, cannot be changed regardless of what any being in the 3D universe does, ever. Man's law changes with time based upon the whim of legislators, moral relativism. There is one overarching ultimate law within the entire set of laws known as natural law, and that is the law of freedom, which is very simple. Freedom and morality are directly proportional. This is the underlying causal factor of the human condition, ladies and gentlemen. The aggregate amount of truth and morality present in the lives of the people of any given society is directly proportional to the amount of freedom and order in that society, and it is inversely proportional to the presence of chaos, tyranny, and slavery in that society. Sadly, the anarchist community still has not recognized this fundamental natural law. As aggregate morality increases, aggregate freedom increases. As aggregate morality declines, aggregate freedom declines. So, you only need to observe the result that humanity is receiving. Humanity is receiving a result of its freedom being destroyed and going into deeper states of tyranny. So what does that mean about our aggregate morality? Is it increasing or on the wane? That's the key to creation's laws right there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving you the absolute deepest knowledge of the occult. This is the secret of all secret societies that they do not want you to understand.